Good day, ladies and gents. I'm Emilio A. Colon. I'm actually on vacation in beautiful Bradenton, Florida, but there is no way on God's green earth that I'm not going to do a show about this new European Super League being formed by 12 of the biggest clubs in world football. Joining me on today's episode, this is a special episode. Joining me on today's episode, I got my man from 100 Grand, Alex Bidos. Alex, appreciate you coming on the show. And then I got my favorite Peruvian brother, my Inca blood, Angel Garcia. Lalo, appreciate you coming on with your Spanglish. I don't give a shit. Let's have some fun on this episode in all honesty. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. Now listen, you guys have been blowing me up all day, the two of you, all day, and a bunch of other people, all day. There's no way I couldn't do a show with the amount of text messages and DMs that I've been getting all day. So let's speak on this.
As you should.
I want to hear what you guys have to say. First, we're going to go out to my Inca. Lalo, tell me about how you feel about this new league and what is it going to do to Champions League football?
I think it's bullshit. Yeah, I mean, you're taking everything from the, or small teams, you know what I mean? Like, it made no sense. They want to play on their own, that's fine, you know? But at the same time, is how you going to do that when you're playing in a league with the other teams, you know what I'm saying? So, because everybody's fighting to get to the Champions League, which is the big tournament, so what are you going to do with the other teams? Isn't that not fair?
Right.
Try to be fair, you know? Let's be fair with everybody. Don't take it a chance, okay? You want to do the little pocket tournament, it's okay. That's fine. You want to generate money, that's fine. But do it in your own time when you're not playing, you know, the regular season, because you're doing everything out of the small thing. Even if we know when you win the Champions League or the league is, National League starts, you know, the big team got the big money, but the small team get money. You're taking that money away from them, and you're taking the emotion, of the small team fan to say, okay, maybe this year we can get to the Europa League, the European League.
It could happen that way.
Maybe the same, because now you're gonna play like, okay, this is gonna be a champion. So what happened with the rest of the teams? What is the point? It made no sense, you know. It's not fair.
So wait. So Alex, before I get to you, hold on, Lalo. Before I get to you, Alex, hold on. Lalo, tell me how you. What did you say in Spanish? I want to hear it in Spanish. What the fuck did you say when you heard this shit? La puta mierda, coño. Like what did you say?
La mierda. I watched you know, and it's not fair. It's like thinking about it, you know. They can, so the national team can do the same bullshit, you know. Like there is a 6, 7 teams, the worldwide championship league, like Brazil, Argentina. Say, you know what? Let's do our worldwide cup. Fuck the rest. We don't need the rest. We're gonna do our own.
Lex Phenomenal. Give me your opinion. Come on, give me your opinion, Lex.
No, I mean honestly, because you gave dudes minimal time to prepare for this. I really want to hear your take first before I go. I'm coming in with a lot of facts, and I'm coming in organized. So I really want to hear. What is it that's positive? What do you feel that's positive about this? Because from my initial feeling about this, you're giving me the feeling that you identify with what they're trying to do.
Lex is trying to steal the EAC show.
I'm not trying to steal anything. I mean, I really need to know.
All right, so listen.
About this, explain.
I am not a fan of football as long as you guys have been a fan of football. I was introduced to football, obviously, as you guys know the story. My friends know the story. I was introduced to football because of my daughter. And I invested in football because of the love that my daughter had for it. So I'm going to have the same equal love for it. This is relatively new for me. So Champions League is all that I know. I don't know anything else. But I'm also okay with the introduction of trying new things. Now, amidst COVID, because COVID is the big excuse that everybody's going to use, because this is backed by a very, very large bank in JP Morgan. JP Morgan sees it in their best interest to do something like this to benefit the biggest clubs, because the biggest clubs are going to return on their investment. So there's nothing wrong with an opportunity of trying to create something new. The problem I have is that these motherfuckers snake the shit out of it, and we're playing both sides. You got Manchester United and Juventus sitting on the board of UEFA, making plans for this newly formed UEFA League and telling motherfuckers in the background, fuck you, we're bouncing in about a week, so it don't matter. This is a perfect definition of big bank take little bank.
Okay. So I mean, all right, I'm gonna cut it now because there's so many things, there's so many questions I have, so many things I'm confused about. Because he says he's worried about, he was introduced to the game through his daughter, so obviously he has, you have to care about the women's game, right? So let me read you a quick quote. Sorry if I'm cutting out here. From Figo, where Figo says that this is a disaster for women's football. End quote. This so-called Super League is anything but super. This greedy and callous move would spell disaster for our grassroots, for women's football, and the wider football community. Did you hear that?
I don't argue the legend. I don't disagree with him. He's 100% right.
There's players coming out today, coaches coming out today. There's so many things I don't understand. All right, your team is Paris. How could Paris get into the Champions League without being able to invest in their team, grow from a mid-table team to a top 4 team, be able to compete in the Champions League and show that they belong among the best teams? Who's to say that these 12 teams are the best teams in the world? If I look at the list, Man U, Arsenal, Tottenham, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, AC Milan, Inter, Juve, Barca, Madrid, and Atletico. I checked about 3 or 4 sites today to check the biggest debt in world football. On many of these lists, Man U, Inter, AC Milan, Liverpool, Atletico, and Tottenham are showing up on maybe 3 or 4 of the top debt lists in world football since about 2018. So that just shows you pretty much all of these teams are doing this to get out of whatever debt they're in. Fine.
Lalo, that's perfectly fine. Like that's the way that big people or big business is done.
Fine, all right. But how are they going to do this? When are they going to play? Do you think I have a list here of some big Champions League clubs that are missing from this action? Bayern Munich, Dortmund, Napoli.
They all said no.
Ajax, Sevilla, Paris, Monaco, they're not in it. Okay, so if we were watching the NBA, would we watch the same 6 teams play a midweek tournament, a series throughout the whole basketball season? Who's gonna watch this?
No one is gonna watch it. It's gonna be boring.
Who's gonna watch these guys play each other all year throughout the entire year?
Exactly.
Who's gonna watch this? So I think that you're missing the fact that in order for them to pull this off, they need to be helped and agreed with by all these other teams to really have the best league. And we're just talking about, just getting this done. But we want to talk about the sporting aspect and the competition aspect. This kills all the competition in football. This makes sure that any smaller team can invest in their team and have a run and compete against the biggest teams.
No.
Everyone who has a childhood club where they grew up, they have no chance to go and play against the highest level teams.
No one disagrees with that. No one disagrees with
How
that.
many times? Huh?
No one disagrees with that.
You want to know how many times? So you guys were both born in at least 1980, right? I wanted to pick a time that wasn't beyond where you guys were born. You guys were born in 1980 and after?
Yeah.
Both of you?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Since 1980, there have been 12 Champions League winners that don't don't come from these 12 teams.
Because actually,
12 times.
You realize there is a bigger team. There is small teams in there. This Athletic is not a champion. It's not a big team. Tottenham is not a big team. Arsenal is not a big team.
Nope.
What is the other one from Italy? I think it's just
Inter?
The Italian teams are big teams, but guess what? They're in debt.
They're all of them. The rest, those four are nothing. They are nothing. They're nobody.
Let's just wait, hold on. Look, guys. We're getting sidetracked. Let's just understand that we get that this is all about money. We get that this is not good for football. We get that this is big bank taking little bank. This is literally a clean sweep to get out of debt in some way, shape, or form and make more money somewhere else than what Champions League is offering us. Because Champions League only gets, like, the team gets like $100 million, and now in this new league they're gonna get $300 million a season. So we understand that it's all about money. We get it. We totally understand it.
How long are they going to do that if nobody's watching?
All
right, here's my thing, right? JP Morgan, they're supposed to be so smart. I said something to you about these guys, because I think you don't see the magnitude of what they're doing here. This messes with the whole structure of football. You think that UEFA and FIFA can do nothing to stop this? If they say that these players are not going to play in these tournaments, you think they're just going to go and fund their own World Cup?
Listen, and Perez, that's the balls that these people have. That Perez said that today. Perez said if you don't allow these players to play in the World Cup, we're just going to create our World Cup. That is the thinking of evil geniuses. That's how they think.
Sure, but it's not.
They're not able to do that. They can't.
They can't. Listen.
They have to be affiliated to the FIFA, to be in a national team, to be a professional player, to play in the World Cup. So they basically do a small little tournament between them to generate money.
Yeah, exactly.
There is no way that it's gonna work out. No way. But there is rules. They're gonna be out of the rules. Okay, you gotta understand. You're gonna be playing out of the rules. You're gonna be out of the institution. So
exactly.
You're nobody.
Exactly.
You're
Born seems. He seems to think that money can just come in and destroy the institution. You can't destroy the institution. There is so much infrastructure that goes into what they do. These guys can't just say, oh, because JP Morgan is going to give us $6 billion. First of all, they have to wipe their debt. But you don't have any understanding of the infrastructure that goes beyond the planning of games that are interconnected between 7, 8, 9, 10 countries.
I think. Okay, listen.
Stadiums.
I think there's a misconception. It's relatively easy for them to do this, and I'm gonna explain why. Because all of the teams that have already agreed to go join this league can literally just sit there and say, we're just dropping out of Champions League. And less people are going to watch Champions League because these clubs have the most fans in the world when it comes to soccer.
I don't think so.
They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. That's never gonna happen. It will be.
I don't think so. You look at these 12 teams, half of them are from England. Tottenham and Arsenal currently having trouble getting into the top 4. You know why? Because England is breeding competition. England now is so difficult to make the top 4 in England. These teams that are traditionally supposed to be making this money are now not making this money because they're not competing on the field. And now they're slipping out of 4th and 5th place. And now they're trying to replace that money elsewhere. Listen, Florentino Perez, he's off his chair. He's off his rocker. The Brazil World Cup was $15 billion. The Russia World Cup was $11 billion it cost. Qatar's World Cup, $220 billion. There's no way they can start their own World Cup. You see, in the EPL, you know the ramifications of UEFA and FIFA saying your players can't play in the World Cup? What about the smaller countries? They're going to make their own World Cup now? What about the smaller countries? What about the F52?
I'm telling you, they can do it. The fact that you don't want them to do it is two different things.
It's not about me wanting them to do it. I'm giving you examples so that you can explain to me how they're going to do this. This is similar to a conversation that we had about currency and what the U.S. doing having to be in
the same
with other countries. Listen to it. Hold on. Let me just get this point across real quick before you go. 52 Africans in EPL alone, right? Because 6 of these teams are in England, right? 52. 14 of these Africans play for teams on that list. Do you think these African countries can afford to have those players sat out in a World Cup? Lalo?
But they'll figure something out. I'm telling you, they're not stupid. They know what they're doing. They're doing everything is generated by numbers. Everything is numbers. So Real Madrid, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Man United, Inter, Juve, AC Milan, all of these teams, Atletico Madrid, Barca, Real Madrid, all of these teams have done the numbers to sit there and say, this is the amount of value that we bring to something that we're not getting our equal share of. So that's why the Super League exists in the first place.
Oh, I understand it. I understand it, bro. I understand what they're doing. What they're doing is saying, okay, this is our value, this is our viewership, this is what we bring to the table. Regardless, we're bringing this viewership, so we should get this money, and now we're sharing it in a pot. And sometimes we're not making the tournament. Well, we can take it. It's like the YouTubers that are boxing right now. Jake Paul has a following.
There goes perfect example. Perfect example. You and Lalo are the purists that sit there. Wait. You and Lalo are the purists that sit there and say that Jake Paul shouldn't be in boxing. Jake Paul is proving from an entertainment standpoint and a money standpoint that he should be. Right, Lalo?
Of course. No. He's not proving that. He's proving he can make money doing it. He's not proving that he should be doing it. He hasn't fought against a boxer yet. He's fighting against guys that work stock in Publix.
I don't think so it's gonna work out because it's not fair. I don't think so it's gonna happen because nobody support them. Not even the greatest players in the world. Nobody literally nobody. They think because they have the money, because they're the greatest team, they can do whatever they want, because they have money. Listen, soccer is not about money. It's not about money, it's about people. It's like you putting a president on a country. It's not about the president. It's about the people who control the country. And this is the same way. You see how the fans feel themselves right now. They feel betrayed. What they did to them, you know? Like how you gonna treat your fans like that? They don't even wanna go to watch the fucking game. You know, I don't wanna go to bullshit.
They make money with no fans right now. They don't give a fuck at the end of the day.
From TV deals that will expire. Listen, bro. I understand what you're saying. Just my example shows you I understand what they're doing. I'm saying there's just no future in front. There's no future in it. They can get the money now. Sure, yes, that's their value now. But listen, without the fans, how are they going to sustain this? From a logistics standpoint, explain to me. No. I want you to tell me right now, if these teams don't join with them, how are they going to sustain it?
I'm going to explain. I'm telling you right now, JP Morgan is not going to underwrite a loan for this amount without having numbers in front of them. Even in a COVID-19 pandemic era, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. There are plenty people with a lot of money in this world that are not invested in football, that you rub elbows with and shoulders with, and you end up becoming part of the Billionaires Boys Club, and you can allow them to get into football. For example, if you just go to Jeff Bezos and you tell Jeff Bezos, Jeff, we got this new European Football League. We'll 100% allow it to be on Prime Amazon Video. You'll be the legal distributor in the United States of all of this content. You got a bag right now, one of the biggest bags in the world, right? That didn't exist before.
Bro, don't give the evil genius any more ideas.
You see? Thank you. That's my point. Lalo, you understand? Could you imagine he works out a deal with those clubs and then all of a sudden he becomes the legal distributor of their goods and sending everybody, Real Madrid, Tottenham, Liverpool, all types of people, fans around the world into Real Madrid, Barcelona. He's sending them their product, and he's also distributing their content. That is an idea that creates new money that didn't exist before.
All right, bro. All money is good money. New money is good money. I'm just asking. I'm not sitting here debating whether, because J.P. Morgan doesn't get where they are by not making good investments. But I just wonder if they thought of this in the long run, because J.P. Morgan doesn't understand football. No. I think they understand that they can make money on this investment initially, that they're going to get money based on the viewership that these teams have. But guess what? Who's to say? Why is Tottenham on this list? Why is Arsenal on this list?
Great question. Great question.
No. Let me continue. Bro. I already know the answer. I'm just saying it for rhetoric. Why are they on this list?
Atletico Madrid, why is in the list?
Why is Atletico Madrid on this list? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are not the strongest teams. And guess what? By pretending that these are the strongest teams and you're going to pump money in it, guess what? In a few years, if the rest of the teams don't go along with this, that means it's going to be divided. And when you're divided, you're weaker. These teams, they're going to get weaker. They're not going to be strong anymore. You're going to have fans watching one competition. You're going to have a couple fans watching the other competition. They're going to isolate it. They're going to take themselves out of competition, right? Because when you say that 15 out of the 20 proposed teams are going to be permanent, always in the league, they can never go out, what does that bring? That brings complacency, right? Unless they have the most amazing scouting network in the world and they can offer obscene amount of money to every single young talent that comes around.
Yeah.
It's going to make complacency.
Lalo, tell me what your friends...
Lalo, who's his team?
Lalo...
Whose team Bourne's team is? Who's Bourne's team?
Paris.
Okay, so with this league, could PSG have been what they are today?
PSG said no.
As they should, right? And you sit there all day, you talk about what great decisions they make, and then he talks about,
But PSG don't got no money. PSG don't got no money problems. PSG don't got no money problems. I don't got no money problems.
Everyone sees why these teams are doing it. It's money problems.
Lalo, tell me.
Is it good for
Hold on, Alex. Hold on 1 second. Lalo, tell me what your friends who you spoke to today through WhatsApp, Signal, text messages. Tell me what your friends are saying about this.
We're not talking about what happened, but I say that's not going to happen. But listen, Champions League, just like a Barcelona fan, I just don't watch Barcelona games. I watch all the games. All the teams, So think about it. Champions League is not watching just for fans from a specific club. It's watching for everybody. So now that you, for example, if I will be like a Getafe fan or Villarreal who went to the Champions League, sometimes the time. Now you're taking me that away from me to watch my team, playing the Champions League. If you do the Super League, I'm not going to watch it. So you will lose like one viewer.
That is a risk. That is a risk they are willing to take.
So that's so you don't lose it. You're not losing a fan. You're not losing a fan because the fan want to watch it. You're losing viewer who love soccer. That's what you lose. You know what I'm saying?
They don't. Right, you're right, Lalo. Lalo's.
You're missing the mystic of soccer. But we love soccer. We watch soccer. We play soccer.
Lalo's hitting it on the head because JP Morgan is not counting for the fact that a Tottenham fan might be watching a Tottenham game. I might be a Barca fan, and I might watch the Tottenham game after, and I'm not a Tottenham fan because we want to see the game.
There is fans who will watch a Real Madrid game, who is a Real Madrid fan when CR7 was there, and they're not watching anymore because CR7 is another team. You know what I'm saying? So they follow whatever they like. And if you're taking that from the fans, you're going to lose. The fans have power. Nobody goes to the chair. Nobody wants to.
I have a question. I have a question for Born, right? Yeah. So where do these teams, all these teams on this top 12 list, where do they get these? Where do they get their players from? These players just wake up and they're born in the academy, or they get the players from other teams?
Yo, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, okay? I understand you guys have extreme passion for this, and I respect it. And I admire it. I admire it. I want to have that same exact passion for football and for PSG as it grows, because you guys have been in it longer than I haven't, and I've admitted that. But let me explain something to you. These clubs have done their due diligence. These clubs know that they have the infrastructure to support what they are trying to do. They are literally sticking their necks out to get cut off, and they're okay with that.
They're desperate.
Yes, but listen, but a lot of stuff happens from desperation, Alex. For example, people used to tell Elon Musk he was crazy. Look at him now. People used to tell Steve Jobs, you're nuts. Look at him now. People used to tell Fred Smith, the owner of FedEx, you're crazy. That will never happen. The guy who owned DHL, you can't get mail overnight somewhere. There's no way.
That's something that you invent new.
They're inventing something new.
No, it's not. But Born, how is it for the people? I had a question.
If you build it, they will come. Those are words that 100% purely are true.
Yeah, it is, but not in this case, because Bayern said no. Like, yeah, this is a different situation. If you build it, no, there's already something built, and you're failing to understand that for this to work for them, they need the biggest teams and the best teams. If they're divided, this doesn't work. No matter what.
Let me ask you something. Why do you think PSG say no?
Okay, now we're speaking about my team, so now I need the floor. I need the floor. I'm gonna tell you the number one reason why PSG said no. We're not hurting for money. That's the number one reason. We're not hurting for money. Qatar has so much money, it's not even funny. It's a joke.
So when you're not hurting for money, that allows you to make the right decision, right?
No, that allows you to make that allows you to make a calculated decision.
When you don't need money,
Is it the wrong or right decision?
when you don't need money, you're okay. You do it to your own thing, everything
For
right.
the right reasons.
That's-
When you need money, you fuck everybody else up. But you need money. You fuck everybody.
Let's face facts. Let's face facts. Listen. Let's face facts. Let's face facts. At the end of the day, the president's job of each of these clubs is to do what's best for the clubs. They don't give a damn about anybody else. And that's the way it should be. They don't care about anybody else. Abramovich only cares about Chelsea. Real Madrid, Perez only cares about Real Madrid. That's just how it is. Let's just face facts. Let's be honest. If you're in a position where you're straight financially, usually majority of the time, that's when you care about others.
Wait, hold on. So Paris is doing it because of others? No.
No. Paris is doing it because they're fine financially. They don't need the league.
Right. But whether they do the league or not, this is why I had a few questions written down for you. Because whether these teams do, this is what you're not getting. Like, whether these teams do the league or not, how is it helping anybody else? It's not about anybody else. Their decision to do the league is only benefiting them. I had, two questions. How does this benefit the growth of the game? And other than the clubs that are on that list, what does it benefit?
There is no benefit. It's just about money. I don't see.
It doesn't benefit anybody.
They're not.
And hold on, you say this like JP Morgan doesn't make bad investments. Sure, they did the numbers. I'm sure they figured out that they could probably make some money off of this. But I don't really believe that they looked 5 years down the line on this. Because if the players are not behind it, you have the Liverpool coach who is on this list says he's disgusted.
Paris,
why did your club not do this?
I already answered that. Whether
because of money.
I already answered that. Whether you listen to me, whether you like my answer or not, I already answered that. We weren't desperate for bread. We're not in debt like that. It's not crazy. We're good. We're okay. Bayern is the same exact way. Dortmund operates at a plus because they sell players so young, talented players so young. They end up getting a surplus at the end of the day, and they operate under a strict budget. Like you said, you have proof. A lot of these clubs that are in this league are debt-ridden clubs. They owe so much money. So they need to figure out a way to create new money. But the reason why they're doing it is because they feel like they're not getting an equal share for what they bring to the table for Champions League. So in my opinion, the thing that Champions League should do is sit down with these clubs and generate a new way to create money for the teams that bring more value to the league.
Okay, so cool. We're coming with a solution now.
I always had a solution. You bamboozled the show from the fucking start.
Because I mean, listen, bro, are we not talking facts though? I mean, like, listen, all this stuff that I've been saying to you is just like, I'm just giving you this information so I can hear from you how they're supposed to pull this off.
I got it. But when you threw the show to me, when I threw it to you, you changed everything.
You told me how the Champions League is going to pull this off. But this whole time I've been saying all this stuff is because I'm trying to hear from you how they're going to pull this European Super League off. Sure, they can make a press conference, say this is what we're doing. We huddled up in a back room like some snakes and said we're going to fuck everybody over.
Yeah, but it's a little...
Sure. And then they did a press conference. But is it going to work?
Alex, it's a little bit different. These guys resigned from their jobs that they had with UEFA for so long. Allegri left. He was the president. The vice president left. Like, the president is going to be, I think, the president of the league is going to be Perez from Real Madrid. The vice president is going to be the guy from Manchester United. This is actually going to happen. For those people that think that this is not going to happen, they're out of their fucking minds. Lalo, they're out of their minds.
No, probably it's gonna happen. Probably they're gonna do the only. Probably they're gonna be playing games. The thing is, who's gonna watch it? Just depends. I'm not gonna watch it. I don't really care because that's fucked up.
Exactly. They can do it.
There's no interest to watch it. And second, they got on the say, okay, you're gonna do your own thing, but you gotta pay for it. You know, you're gonna be disaffiliated from UEFA. You're gonna be disaffiliated from FIFA. Your players won't be able to play for nothing. So when the players gonna see that, when the players say, fuck, I'm not gonna play the Copa America, I'm not gonna play the European Cup, I'm not gonna play the World Cup. Because listen, it's nice for most players to win the Champions League, the Europe League, whatever. But in a soccer player mind, a professional player mind, is win Copa America, win the World Cup, win the Euro Cup. That's the main thing for a soccer player, for a professional player. So if you're not going to be able to play that, you're going to say, fuck, I'm getting good money, yes, I'm playing with the best team, but what else?
Guys, we got about 5 minutes. We got about 5 minutes on this episode. Real quick, this is the last question that I have for both of you. Give me your input real quick on it, this, then, and third. Play in this league to play in the World Cup. We will create our own World Cup. Does that, guys, give you like an underlining to sit there and say that they don't want this World Cup into Qatar to happen at all?
Okay, who the fuck? Okay, who's not playing? Let's say Messi. Okay. Who else? I mean, there is so many players.
Listen, bro, this is what I touched on this earlier. The World Cup is happening. You think that you can make decisions on a World Cup with 12 months to go? Teams qualified for 4 years, maybe a little bit less than 4 years in advance for the next World Cup. Teams are qualifying for it. You know how much logistics and how much planning goes into a World Cup? You can't make it. The World Cup's happening, no matter what. The question is, are these players going to be disqualified or not? Because them thinking they run shit because they got a loan from JP Morgan, they've blown their top.
Lalo, I appreciate you trolling me though, but I didn't want to win Champions League this way because supposedly come Friday, they saying that Chelsea, Real Madrid, and who's the last one that's left over? Who's the last one?
It's City.
City's gonna be kicked out of UEFA, which ends up leaving PSG as the champion. I don't want to win a Champions League that way. That's not the way I wanted it. I'll be honest with you. I know that's not the way the players wanted it. I know that's not going to be the way our president Nasser Al Khalifi is going to want it neither.
Those are the rules, but I think if they get out of the Champions League, that's it. If they get out of the Champions League, the Super League is done. Period.
Oh, no. By Friday, they already said, by Friday, every team on that list is out of the Champions League.
So, allez, Paris Saint-Germain. Allez, Paris Saint-Germain. Guys, listen, that's going to conclude episode European Super League. I want to keep going. I can't keep going. I'm on fucking vacation. The simple fact that I'm away from my wife right now, she's probably going fucking nuts. I appreciate you guys coming on, and make sure you check us out next episode. I appreciate you, Lalo. I appreciate you, Alex. Later.
Thanks.